I'll let her know.
Makes me really nervous because I rely on that.
I know how you feel. Same.
Let's try that. That should be better. Okay, she says all good.
All right.
Okay, that's bad. All right, let's start the whole meeting all over again. No, I'm kidding. Okay.
Last item,
It's cold on the side of the table.
last item is financial review and controls.
Yeah, so we found some discrepancies in recent salary review and need to discuss those. So what we would like to do is make a motion to enter executive session. Pardon me for 1 second. I would like to make a motion to enter executive session to discuss the medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation or matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation. We are reading from open meeting law, and that is section 105, line F. So we had some questions about what to enter for executive session last night and just want to be explicit. That is why we are entering. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
So we're gonna pause the recording.
Cecilia, we're going to put you in a weight room.
Okay, thank you. So we exited executive session at 9:08 PM. Anthony seconded, all in favor. We're gonna get through the rest of the agenda, but Tim, what I would say is that we've got we do have some things that we have to look into. So we're gonna be talking to council. We'll go from there. And we will let you know next steps, okay? But you've been through this process before and we know that you understand and appreciate
Yep.
us following the process.
I do.
Okay, good.
Thank you, Ruth.
Yeah. That said, no actions were taken in executive session. Let's go ahead and get to the next agenda. So we've got director's reports. The question is, for the sake of time, have we all read the director's report? Is there anything that you feel we need to know?
Yes.
Okay.
Essentially yesterday at the staff town hall, it was not a great meeting. Staff were upset, staff were crying just about being overworked, understaffed, not having the resources to do their jobs. Several of the managers ended up getting upset. Staff were very angry and kind of yelling at them about certain things. Sam was in those meetings while that was happening. I had stepped out of the building to pick up lunch for everybody. When one of the supervisors was, crying in the hallway and things like that. So, essentially, after hearing that directly from the staff, I know previously in my first month when I had started, I cut evening hours at the main library because we did not have enough staff to safely keep the library open. One of the biggest pain points right now is staffing on Saturdays at both locations. So one of the things um, that I would like to bring to the board very soon is my proposal to stop Saturday hours at the Lansingburg branch. Potentially more, but right now I think if we were to just stop hours on Saturday at the Lansingburg branch and move those staff over to the main library, we would at least be able to have enough people to run one location well. So yeah, tough meeting, long day, tough choice. So, but there is just not enough people. The other part of this too, I should also add, is that I'm working with the management team to develop a rotation for the supervisors, so that way there will be one supervisor on site at one location, the main library, every weekend that the library is open. So that was the only new addition to my report.
Any questions? Okay, I do, but I think we can.
Okay.
So it's, are you asking to do that right now? Are you advising us of that?
My understanding is the way that it generally works, is that the director brings kind of those operational changes to the board, and the board, would approve them, sign off on them, is my understanding.
Okay, so what I would say is, there's probably details that we need.
Yep, for sure.
So, if you wanna prepare those,
Yep.
so that we can understand, I wanna know the staffing model and kind of what's happening, that we should be meeting some of those minimum staffing objectives right now on Saturday, so what's occurring that's not happening, and if you can let us know.
Yep.
Okay,
Thank you.
so that can go to personnel or
Yeah.
probably personnel.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
next, that feels like the next one.
Well, that's fine, anyway, right?
Yeah.
Let's take a couple weeks.
It is. Thank you. Okay, is it okay to move on?
If people are done with questions, then yeah, absolutely.
Any questions from anyone else have a question from Tim's directors? Okay, and the reports that we received from YPS and CERT, those are new, right?
Yep.
Okay, tell us more.
Generally speaking, I'm trying to get my management team a little bit more trained when it comes to writing and delivering reports. So I had asked, in the common practice in many libraries is, the departments or managers will prepare it. Director just kind of copy and paste it and put it into the board report. I had asked for narrative reports. People were providing me with statistical reports. So I haven't had the time to sit down and walk through with people about, how that process goes. But so I apologize if it was a little bit difficult to translate.
Okay, and was Lori, is that why, was Lori gonna come and speak because maybe didn't have a report or a different?
I believe I thought I had included the Lansingburg report in there. Lori was going to talk about library calendar, the library, the new product that we have, and demo that for the board, and just talk about Lansingburg and adult services.
Okay. And to be clear, what is her current role?
Technically, her current role is head of adult services. We have filed the RPCs and the paperwork with civil service, and it was approved. She is acting as the interim manager of the Lansingburg branch, and Kaylee is acting as the interim head of CERC while we look to backfill Kaylee's position. So right now, no changes, only administratively with the paperwork.
Okay, to move on. Okay, president's report. I'm gonna ask that I don't think we have to make a motion, but pause the long range plan and development committee. There's a lot going on and we need to get some foundational things in place. We already know that we're doing some research and investigations, and I think that has to take precedent before we can move forward. Does anyone have any concerns, or do we all feel that is appropriate? Should we make a motion to pause this?
I don't feel the need for motion.
Yeah, I don't think a motion's required, it's just a matter of us scheduling a time to the meeting, so we're just postponing that.
Neither of them have had a meeting.
Right.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we
So
don't
then-
really started.
The last few months of, finally get it off the ground, so.
Yeah, we did make a motion to set a timeline. First, we talked about the timeline, but we didn't make a motion to set that timeline. So I think we're okay.
All right, good. Then we're all focusing on that. Same with governance and operations training. Would love to do that, but I think, again, there's a lot going on right now. Are we okay? I love the idea. Everyone else seems to really like it. I don't want to take something away from us that we were excited for. And that would benefit us all, but are we okay putting that on pause at least a month?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Union negotiation status, Tim, do you have any updates?
None at this time, no. We do have our next, I believe we have our next meetings. Nope, I take that back. I'm sorry, it's very late. I don't have any updates.
That's fine,
Okay.
okay. Thank you. DLD statistical report. You have to get that in?
What the guidance from the system was, essentially we can pick a future board meeting to approve that. So the portal, the deadline was extended.
Okay.
So Lindsay and I are ahead of the game because we had just been working on that in an Excel sheet ahead of time. Um, so basically, the two options are the board can approve what was provided as a draft, or Lindsay and I, as part of filling out that form, there's a question on what date was this approved by the board, and we can put the April board meeting, and then we can submit it to the system so that way they can start going over and checking us for errors. And then if there are any corrections, we can just contact the system and they would be able to make them retroactively.
So will you submit it prior to the April board meeting?
Yes.
Yeah, I think the idea is that they submit it with that date on it, with the understanding that it will be approved.
And
after
then,
that date.
and then if the board had any corrections or updates that they found. Yep.
So they finally get the portal up and running?
They finally did. Counting opinions is the new kind of product for statewide library statistics. So the system is running slow because every state is doing their uploading of annual statistics for all the public libraries. So yeah.
What's the new due date, by the way?
I know, I believe it is due to the system by April 1st. So I want to say the new due date is mid-April. I apologize. I thought I had I had forwarded the email from Jana to folks. I apologize if I didn't.
Now, the AFR is due too, right?
It is, yes. So Lindsay and I, now that we've gotten through the annual statistical report, we'll be starting the AFR. And then the audit is
So-
starting on April 14th.
Do I remember correctly that an extension needs to be requested? I can look.
I don't remember what our process was last year.
I think that
Yeah, we did because of the
we
timing of
did,
the audit.
but we exceeded the extension. We
Yes.
did request an extension, but we exceeded the extension. I think the extension was through March 31st was the longest.
That's right. Yes.
Okay,
I'll follow up with Lindsay about that.
Thank you.
thank you. Is it okay to keep going with new business? Okay,
Well, did we make a decision about?
oh,
the
no, you're right, thank you.
report?
Are we approving the draft or are we waiting?
My recommendation is probably to wait.
I would feel more comfortable.
Yeah, so let's just
Didn't
do it at the
read
April
it.
board meeting, and we'll, if you guys wanna.
Yeah.
It sounds like if you guys wanna submit with that date on it, so that they can begin reviewing it that.
I'm comfortable putting it on April's agenda. But note April's agenda, all of you. Keep me account. Let's just call this. Okay, thank you. Board procedures, we're just gonna wait until next time. We had a really good, I think, policy and governance meeting, got through a ton of work on that. Thank you everyone who participated, and let's keep working on that draft so that we can get more compliant, but I think there were a ton of action items that came out of that, and hopefully we can circulate maybe by the next policy governance, and then we have a final draft by the next time, but we know what we're working towards, so, okay. And that gives Tim, you guys a little bit more time too. Okay, is that okay with everyone? Okay, 2026 salary schedule. Tim, we need two things from you. We need to see the actual salary schedule for 2026, which I know has been in development. Typically, and I'm looking at Marie and Evelyn on this one, usually that's something, does the board approve it or do we just see it? The schedule.
The schedule,
Yes.
the schedule should be approved because it is a fiduciary responsibility. It shows that we know what the schedule is. Yep.
So we need to see that schedule and we need to.
And just for clarification, do you mean, so I know, for instance, in the past, like Paul had the position titles, and let's say it was the 2022 salary schedule, how people would advance through the steps. Do you want that schedule, or do you want the individual line by line salaries
Of each person.
of each person?
I think that gets into Sam territory.
Right,
I think
right.
we're more looking for the schedule.
It's the schedule, because
the
that's the
schedule.
document,
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
instrument, it is not.
Yeah.
We don't wanna go through that. We can see it, but.
Yeah. I know essentially I can double check, but I know I had thought as part of the budget proposal that I provided that to the board in July of last year.
2026.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I can,
Do me that favor, if you can find it.
Yeah.
For what you're using, forward that to us so that this
Yeah.
board has it.
Sam's included on all the drafts of that, but I can, so we'll call
And what
the,
I would ask is, I know the schedule. Sounds like with the union, to what extent has that changed?
so essentially because of the way that we discussed, the salary increase, right? So when we were having this conversation in July, what we ended up budgeting for was a 9% cost of living increase, but not inclusive of people advancing along a step schedule. So the idea is that because we are still in negotiations with the union, we can simply say that this year was a flat 9% contractual increase as the first year of the bargaining agreement. And then depending on, however long the rest of the union contract is, Nate and I are working to develop essentially, like, I think what the board is looking for, which is a pay matrix where it's you, like, let's just say, to use what we could have done last year. So a 5% cost of living increase is applied to the actual steps. And then people advance through the step schedule. So I will say, as we complete the CBA, that will be an appendix in it, so that will all be spelled out. So there's nothing like that exists yet.
For 2026.
Um,
No, for 2027 and 20.
for 2027 and 2028. But the math that we did was just the 9% cost of living to where people were at.
Okay.
Yep.
Share what you have.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you, and then,
So
yes,
that didn't include the step.
It did not, no. And that was kind of what the previous administration had also done.
and that was applied to everybody managerial and not.
It, I would have to double check. I don't wanna incriminate myself. Yeah.
And I just wanted to ask one other question. So how many vacancies do we currently have now?
2 head of circulation and a custodial, both are actively being interviewed.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Serving custodian, okay.
The custodian is part-time. The head of circulation is outside the bargaining unit.
Does anyone have any other new business?
Did you get to your second thing that you needed from him?
She just did staff vacancies. Good question, thank you. Accountability, yes. All right, do we have any community feedback?
Yes, someone said to me that it's thought that we go into executive session tonight.
Thank you, Marie. I agree. I do hear that. I do hear that session. I hear that. I think what we would like to do, and I wanted to make the suggestion is, can we have a printout of the reasons to go into executive session so that that's here with us, printed out at any time that we need to reference it. So if there are concerns like there were yesterday, we can fairly clearly understand like that. Is that okay? We can laminate it.
Yes, and I did have a conversation with the committee on open meeting law today about whether salaries were an appropriate issue to go in.
What is that?
Not salaries per se, the question couldn't be answered because it depended on what it was in relation to. That it, one, the content of what we would discuss had to be appropriate. And second, that the reason we went in to executive session had to be appropriate. And the closer it adhered to the listed reasons that they give in open meeting law, the better.
Okay, wonderful. Let's print that, let's laminate it. Tim, do you have a laminator?
No.
I'm gonna
Tim.
laminate.
I do.
Mom's on it. All right, got it.
School's on it.
Oh, school, that's. All right, so do we have any, any other community feedback? Do we have public comment? Okay, it's late. I would like to make a, well, our next meeting is gonna be April 14th at 5:30 PM at Maine. And I would like to make a motion to adjourn at 9:38 PM. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ashley, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you so much. Thanks, guys.